When Super Mario 64 came out in 1996, there was a notable absence of everyone's favorite Mario brother, Luigi. Due to a combination of misinformation and wishful thinking, the idea that Luigi was somehow unlockable in the game became one of the most famous and widespread video game myths of all time. Almost immediately after the game came out, fake codes to let you play as Luigi became quite rampant. 5 months after the game's release, IGN announced a reward of $100 to anyone who could provide valid intel on Luigi's whereabouts. In a follow-up article, they embedded a photo of a McDonald's Happy Meal toy to illustrate Luigi's absence. I guess this thing was the only picture of him they had on file. Anyway, the $100 bounty was, shockingly, never claimed, but that didn't stop the Luigi truthers. The Luigi and Super Mario 64 homepage, with quite a few exclamation points at the end, was one of the first big websites where these theorists congregated. They had a forum and a web ring and everything. Trolls would post instructions with random and convoluted steps about collecting all the game's coins, running around the courtyard statue 2,000 times, and stuff like that, which would allegedly unlock the second Mario Bro. The board's members would eagerly try out all these new tips and then be disappointed every time. They tried everything they could think of, from trying to read the blurry plaque in the castle courtyard to literally trying to find hidden messages about Luigi in their dreams. The site's owner ended up giving up on the search sometime in 1998, and he replaced the site with a Maniac Mansion fan page, so unfortunately a lot of the original content wasn't archived. With the original site taken down, various copycat sites were made, but none of them ever reached the same degree of popularity as the original. Although some of them were a bit more passionate. We are Luigi fans. We push and shove just to get Luigi's autograph. If you post a message that puts him down or says he's not in the game, it will never show on the page. We are the best Luigi and Super Mario 64 believers on the planet. I am your leader on this quest, Luigi Master. We've got to get Luigi in Super Mario 64. Interestingly, Nintendo themselves actually acknowledged the rumors a few times in an official capacity. During this era, there was a section on Nintendo's website called Ask Dan, where prominent Nintendo employee Dan Osen would answer questions about Nintendo titles. Dan denied Luigi's existence in Mario 64, and insisted that the courtyard statue, commonly interpreted as L is real 2041, doesn't mean anything. In the same answer, he also refuted the notion of Ninja Mario. Oh yeah, Ninja Mario was another thing. Dan Osen was later interviewed for Nintendo Power magazine in 1998, and he was asked again how to get Ninja Mario. He replied, "I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you." He can't even keep his own story straight. He says it doesn't exist, and then he's saying he can't. Nintendo also responded to fan mail about the rumors, replying that the courtyard statue was just a prank by the developers to make people obsess over the illegible, blurry text. Then for an April Fool's joke in 1998, Nintendo Power promised answers about the L is real statue on page 128, even though there were only 106 pages in the magazine. The lying scoundrels! Anyway, the hype for all this gradually slowed down over the next few years as people came to terms with SM64's Luigi deficiency. It never fully died, but by the early 2000s it got to the point where anyone who speculated about Luigi being in the game was met with ridicule from their online peers. However, what didn't die down was speculation about the courtyard statue. Even though people had given up on Luigi, there was still a lot of speculation about what the plaque might mean. People spent immense amounts of time trying to make sense of the meaningless scribbles. One of the most popular theories, which popped up around 2003, was that the sign was hinting at the release of Paper Mario. Up until this point, pretty much everyone agreed that the sign said L is real 2041. But if you conveniently choose to read it as 2401 instead, and then you read it as a date, you get February 4th, 2001, which is one day before Paper Mario released in North America. And what do you know? Luigi is in Paper Mario. L was real all along. Obviously, this theory doesn't hold water. Paper Mario had already released a year earlier in Japan, and if they really were planning for such a precise release date 4 years into the future, then why would they decide to just delay by a single day and ruin it? Regardless, people proudly proclaimed that the mystery had been solved at last. To this day, searching L is real 2401 turns up far more results than the original 2041. It's interesting how everyone collectively changed their interpretation after this. The other main competing theory is that it actually says Eternal Star, because it's on a statue of a star. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. It's so blurry you can pretty much read anything you want from it. There were some good ideas though, like has anyone tried looking at the writing with a magnifying glass?
No, it's not any clearer.
Another thing that drew more speculation was that the exact same texture reappeared in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Almost as though it's just a generic sign texture with no meaning that they slapped on because it was convenient. Now you might have thought that we'd reached the end of the Luigi hoaxes, but you'd be mistaken. In 2005, YouTube launched. This new video sharing platform, combined with new advances in ROM hacking, allowed for a whole new generation of fake Luigi codes, this time with Scatman John's music playing in the background. The supposed codes that these videos described were basically the same as before, telling the viewer to go and do a bunch of random arbitrary steps. After all the steps are complete, then the video would usually cut to a hacked ROM with Luigi in it. Or if the uploader couldn't be bothered with that, then they just end the video right before Luigi was supposed to show up. Or they could cut to a screamer. There were some that were a little more unique. My favorite one said that there was a secret door in the middle of this staircase that most people just walked right past. I spent hours trying to find that. These types of videos continued all the way up until the early 2010s, when people collectively just started to get tired of them. They faded away, just like the first wave of Luigi rumors did a decade earlier. Nowadays, it seems like the majority of the old Luigi hoax videos have been deleted from YouTube. I, being a gullible child, used to bookmark every single one of these that I saw, and when I got access to my old computer again a couple years ago, I found that all the links were dead. I suppose the creators of these videos collectively just started to cringe at the stuff they made in Windows Movie Maker when they were 12 and decided to delete them. It's a shame, really. So yeah, that's the story of one of the most famous video game myths. More recently, Mario 64 hoaxes and conspiracy theories have made a comeback in the form of the "every copy of Mario 64 is personalized" stories. I imagine that these types of rumors will never truly end as long as kids are still playing the game. Thanks for watching.